Hi, I'm Sheila Gordon. I am a vocal coach and I help highly influential people develop transformational vocal presence in public speaking, in sales, in performance, and in life. So one of the challenges that I have found and that many people find is that they have either a fear of public speaking, which statistics show us 74% of the population actually have this, rate this as the number one fear in life, higher than death, higher than spiders, higher than flying, higher than closed spaces. Either they have a fear of public speaking or they have the desire and the love of public speaking, and the voice that they have doesn't quite support them or match the desire and the message that they have. So some of the ways that that can show up is not just in public speaking. When we think of public speaking, many of us think of large venues, large audiences, but actually public speaking can be speaking over the phone, or it can be speaking the way I am right now to you on a camera. It can be speaking in a small room to a board of directors. It can be speaking to family members. It can be speaking to a loved one. It can be speaking to a loan officer, either over the phone or in person or via Skype. There are so many different ways that voice usage comes into play and influences the way we interact with people. And in fact, your voice is the most unique identifier of who you are. It actually, in ancient times, during Greek times, the word persona and voice meant the same thing. And now we use them separately, but originally that was the meaning of voice, was persona. And energetically, I believe that it still is the meaning of voice, that is how we convey our product. It is how we convey our message. It is how we convey our why as to why we do what we do. It is how we influence. It is how we change behavior. Using our voice is how we do all of those things. And when we have the challenge of having a lack of confidence in using the voice, it becomes more and more difficult to influence, to make a connection, or to establish a connection, or to keep a connection with our audience. Sometimes it shows up as a lack of stamina. And I can tell you a story about that and how that happened to me. Actually, that I grew up not loving my voice at all and not really knowing how to use it. And that happened because of the way I grew up and the family that I grew up in. Things were happening in a way that I found it was more advantageous for me to keep quiet, to squelch my sound, and to be very quiet. And being quiet is not a bad thing, because we learn to listen and perceive, and that's a very good thing. But I learned and practiced during the years when I was developing my persona and developing my identity. I practiced staying quiet. I practiced breathing that would help me stay quiet. I practiced lack of utilizing my vocal cords and not being able to sustain sound for long periods of time, so that when the opportunity arose that I wanted to express myself and wanted to use my voice to influence people and to connect with people and to change their behavior, I didn't have a facility that was going to help me do that. The environment changed such that I fell in love with acting and I became an actress. And I was great at it. I still am. I still act. But at that time, I practiced for so many years, holding my breath, squelching my voice, staying quiet so that I would be perceived as an agreeable person and a good girl and a likable person, that when I had to play people who were leaders or had to change behavior because of extraordinary circumstances or because of passion, my voice couldn't sustain the passion. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you didn't become an actress, and maybe you didn't have to use your voice in that way. But does that sound familiar, that maybe you became passionate about something and you needed to communicate that passion to a group of people or to just one other person, and your voice couldn't quite convey what you were feeling? Does that sound familiar to you? I know that it sounds familiar to a lot of people that I've met and a lot of people that I've helped. And the great news is that there is a solution to that issue, to those problems. The wonderful news is that all of us, all human beings, have the capacity to reclaim that voice which is theirs. There's no such thing as a bad voice or a weak voice or a voice that is not isn't able to improve. And I help people with a 10-step program that I call Release Your Voice and Share Your Power, 10 Steps from Squeeze to Ease. And those 10 steps embrace 3 simple solutions, or three very foundational programs, exercises in breath, vibration, and play. Those are really the 3 pillars of a great voice: breath, vibration, and play. And the reason that those are the 3 pillars of voice is because when we develop as human beings, when we're born, the first thing we do is learn to exhale and release vibration at the same time. We are spanked on the butt and we go, wah! That's vibration of the vocal cords, and we're exhaling the breath. And very soon after that, we learn to play with those vibrations and coo and giggle and cry some more and wail some more. And we do this to get our needs met. We do this to convey our passions. And that continues basically throughout our lives. Of course, as we grow older, we get more complex. We learn how to speak. We learn words and all of that stuff. But in my program, I give you very embraceable and wonderful ways to reclaim the breath and learn how to love breathing again and to enjoy breathing with vibration again, and then to pair those things with play. playful sound, on breathing and vibration. And what that helps people do is to reclaim a sense of joy in their speaking, and reclaim a sense of joy in speaking to a group of people, reclaim a sense of joy in hearing their own vocal vibration in a room, so that it's a shared kind of communication. And when audiences, whether it's an audience of one, or whether it's an audience of 1,000 or 10,000, when they're feeling you, enjoying releasing your vibration and being playful with that, they begin to feel the same thing. They begin to understand what you are conveying. And they begin to embrace your sound and embrace your words and embrace your energy. So that is an embracing of transformational vocal presence and empowered speaking. And so if any of that sounds like familiar to you, sounds like something that you identify with, and that you'd like to have a moment where you could reclaim your power in your voice, or reclaim your play in your voice, or just enjoy breathing and enjoy using your voice again, I'd like to invite you to log on to my website, which is www.mybestvoice.com. That's www.mybestvoice.com, and sign up for my newsletter. So every month, what I do is I share many of the tips that I was talking about today, some of the details about some of the exercises about how to improve your breathing, and without making it drudgery and work, and how to start to really embrace your vibration and how to play with that sound. And some of the very, very simple things that you can begin to learn to do, you can begin to learn to do that in your car. And if that sounds like something that you could benefit from, that you could change and improve your speaking to your board of directors or to your clients, then please join me in logging on to mybestvoice.com and sign up for my newsletter. And that is free. That is something that you would just receive on a monthly basis. And the takeaway, what I want to give you before I close here today, is the takeaway of things that you can do to improve your voice right now is take 5 minutes per day and just paying attention to your breathing. That doesn't mean changing a breath. That doesn't mean, oh, I've got to take a deep breath. When we do that, we just increase tension in the breath. But all I'm advocating for is just pay attention to the breathing and just ask for grace, ask for ease in my breathing. Another thing that you can do is begin to hum speech. So something that you would like to say to somebody, something that you want to practice with somebody, or that you want to say to somebody, this isn't humming, singing, but you would just be humming speech. So if I were to say, hi, how are you? I'm so glad that you came and spent this time with me today. I could practice humming that.